Alright, so we got all our speaker wire run. Got all the speakers installed. Got the front doors back on. Now we're going to start putting the back door back on. And this one, not difficult at all, but it's a mishmash of stuff. You got two Phillips head fasteners. Because, of course. About a 10mm nut. And then one of these, which to get out, it's normally going to look like that where it's flush. You push it in just a little. And you can wiggle it out. Don't lose that pin. And then drop the whole thing on the floor. And then you can push the pin back up through it like that and put it back together when you put it in. So, again, the door panel, similar to the front doors, has these hooks on it. It has to be pulled up. If you try to pry it, it's gonna end badly. And we can do this. There it goes. Not quite. I think that's it. You'll notice this slot for getting that slid over the nut. So now, if you had fingers smaller than mine, you could start putting this stuff back together. And then this piece, again, you kind of squish it together a little bit. Put it in like that. And take this, push it in till it's flush. Then snug everything down. All right, so that's good. Now, what else is left? We've got the piece that surrounds the window. And this one's a little strange because you got to pull the fasteners out of the window latch, because that's actually what holds this monster in. You want to get that out of the way. And this doesn't slide in. It's just got a bunch of these little clips. You can see this pin lines up with that hole in the top right. Maybe. There she goes. So you do that. Then you put the fasteners back in for the window, and the door's back together. That's as easy as that goes. So obviously, when it comes apart, make sure that overlaps properly. Then when it comes apart, it's the other way around. Top has to come off first, then the bottom. two screws, nut, and a pop fastener, and then you can get to it. All right, that's all there is to it. Put the back door together. All right, well, we're back at it again. Got a bunch of the crap up there in the dash cleaned up, a lot of wires pulled out, a couple of wires that I had I reran my CB antenna under the carpet, so it's going to be hidden. I have pulled one set of RCA cables, which is going to be the amp or the subwoofer inputs. All of the speaker wires are run and connected to the speakers, so they're good. I've got a couple of door panels back on, although I forgot to plug this bloody light in, so I got to pull this one back off and fix that, because, well, maybe that light will pop out. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I think before I start putting that other side back on, see how nice those seat belts work? Those obviously don't get used anywhere near as much as this one, but yeah, of course it works now. But it has a tendency to do that, to not bring itself all the way back. So I'm going to see if there's a couple, there's only like one or couple of bolts holding that thing on. I'm going to see if there's a way to pop that off and maybe get in there and lubricate it a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do now. Not much to see here. Other than it's kind of squeaky. And it has caution, do not remove on that side. So I think I'm just going to try to squirt some lubricant down in here, because there seem to be a couple of different axles that turn, and see if maybe that can help it a little bit without doing much to it. All right, hopefully that helped. Not a sponsor, but I do like this stuff. Of course, it'll be all over the seatbelt and probably get on me for the rest of my life, but I think it's going to be better. So we're going to put it back on and see if it changed anything. Well, it's a little bit better. At least it ain't squeaking anymore. So we're going to go get the bottom side piece here and put it on. Maybe you can see up here we've got same thing as the other one, a couple of Phillips screws, some of those pop pins, which we'll show you when we put those back on. Other than that, it's very similar. It's got little hooks that go in here and hook down here as well, and that's what holds it in. So we're going to reattach that, pull the speaker wires through it, let them dangle, and then we'll put the top piece back on. All right, so I popped out the little plastic doodads, got these unhooked, although I don't know that they need to be right now, but as you can see, we've got some slots where those seat belts need to go. Got a little delivery there. Well, anyway, so we got to get the seat belts over the top, and then they, without twisting them, slide in like that. Then we've got that done. I need to pull all my speaker wires out of the way. and get the door, get this piece over the anchors for the seat belts. And then, forgot two more plastic things, and they're everywhere on this one. Try not to lose them. Okay, then you can take it and try to, wait a minute, another thing I forgot. Pull up that, the rubber molding, then she will push it, pick it up, push it in, push down, and it's basically in place. The first thing you want to do is put your two screws back in. Then you can start replacing all of these little guys, which if you pull the center out of them, they get a little easier to install. And you just push those until they're flush. And I've got one more that needs to go right here. I'm going to steal that off my junker truck. And that piece is in. Now you put your seat belts back up, but you want to do that after you put the upper piece on. The upper piece, much like the other side, unscrew these, same thing, it just snaps in, and then you screw these back in, put your seat belts back on, and you're done. So that's what we're going to do now. Try to aim this from the back. Can't quite get it from the front. Aha. All right. There's a piece of it. I'm sure this is spellbinding. Took the wire again. There we go. And she's in. Whew. Now we also have another one of those pop pins here, which I'm going to have to grab from the other truck. And put these two screws back, reattach the seat belts, and done. the only wires left for the amp, which is going to go here, are power, ground, and signal, turn on, I guess. So, well, plus the two inputs, I suppose. I'll be able to snake those around under here, because I can reach right there through the hole that the CD player used to be in. So I'm not too worried about that. But there's also another one of those pop plugs down here, so I've got to go grab 3 of those from the junker. That's a captured bolt, and I really don't want to cross thread it. Better than it was. Now, all we have to do is put these back in here. And that piece is done. So that's how you get, this is the worst piece in these trucks that don't have the back door. No question. So I'm gonna go rob a couple of these pins off of the other truck. So I checked the other truck, and well, somebody's been there before, because if they're not broken, they're gone. So this one actually has more of the original stuff left. Although I do have this nice kit that my dad got me at a hot rod show, which has all sorts of things you can use for this type of stuff. And I found out the other day that these little guys, which have a little Phillips screw that you push in, work just about perfectly in place of those other ones. Let's see it make a liar out of me. Yep, that one worked. That one worked. And that one worked. So now I can just use a little Phillips, pull that out, it'll pop, but the panel is as secure as it's, well, ever gonna be. I'm going to wash all this before I put the rest of the interior back in. I'm just kind of fiddling along, putting some parts back and seeing what I can do at this point, but that's probably going to be it for this little part of the video. Hope you all are doing well. Guess we'll see you in the next one.